Gotham City, a place full of despicable criminals, a Batmobile doing donuts, and a man who belongs to a church, a life church, named Batman. Today we're going to attempt to save this city while on a budget, which means we're not going to try and use any possible gadgets. Our game opens up with us being a cop. Now we could immediately fail the challenge by the fact that we have used our weapon before, but since we're not playing as Batman, I don't think it's allowed. However, we do still get jumped as the cop for those who are actually concerned about his safety. We then get an instance and a quick look at our criminals. I don't know why I said instance, but we're going to keep fucking going. We have one who is a very, very mentally ill patient and a midget. I am terrified of midgets, so we're going to leave him for the most part alone. We then get our look at Batman, who just got his brand new suit from Life Church and is finally ready to take to the skies and begin the work of saving his city. We meet with our boyfriend, James Gordon, and told him we had to cancel on our coffee date because we had to go some fisting to the local criminals. Luckily, these guys are really easy, and this gave me a nice easy taste for the fact that, I might not be able to use a lot of quick-fire gadgets. These guys don't seem too bad. It will get slightly worse, but it just depends on how high you are. Me, not so much at this point. Jeep did try to run me over, so naturally, I call in my tank. However, it is not looking like a tank just yet. We'll see that in just another moment or two. I can't remember how much work I did, but either way, hauling the Batmobile is not going to be counted as a use as a gadget. I know that's a weird bit of exposition. I did interrogate the driver of the Jeep, and he gave me some information on Scarecrow. He didn't give me a definitive location, but he told me Chinatown. So I broke his arm, as anyone naturally should. There were thugs in here who were guarding Poison Ivy of all people. I knew that Poison Ivy could be a hell of a trick from my time in Arkham Asylum. I prayed she would not come back again. I was wrong, however. I then got our first inevitable gadget use from this game whenever I got hit with one unmanned tank, and I was forced to use the Batmobile remote. Let this be an indicator for how bad this run is going to go in the future. The game tries to make you take a bit of a tutorial for the Batmobile, including using its missiles, which I count as a gadget, but luckily you can just abort the challenge immediately, and it saves us a use of a gadget. Yay. By the way, we won't be using any of the Batmobile upgrades for this run. Barbara then gives us some lovely intel about how to find it, and we need to use some radio towers. Luckily, being the CEO of a large company, I have some. I use one that's at an abandoned movie studios, powering it up, leaving the Batmobile, which is sad, but I don't need my car for everything. The second one is guarded by 5 guys with guns. I don't like guns. Guns are easy. I feel like these men are not qualified to be on par with me. Plus, my pastor at Life Church has told me that guns are a gateway to cheap shit. So naturally, we have to evolve. I did leave that church, just so you know. I did have to use a batarang, which did suck, but we break in and rescue the cop. It's nice and easy. Who doesn't love it? And then I figure out that he's at Ace Chemicals. I don't know why this wasn't obvious from the get-go, but, it is what it is. It's not like we're the world's greatest detective or anything. Once inside, we get a look at the Arkham Knight's militia. Now, this man really scared me. Like, scary that he owns multiple Dairy Queens, or maybe Dunkin' Donuts. Either way, I have to know, and I have to find out who he is. And naturally, that would lead to me first saving people here. Unfortunately, 3 of our people did die, but we did manage to save 2 of them after I straddled them and put them in the back of my Batmobile. James Gordon decided to keep them safe, and luckily I knew everything would be okay. Scarecrow's retaliation for me destroying his bomb and stopping his plans was kidnapping my tech support. What am I supposed to do when I don't know how to turn on my Wi-Fi router or when it stops working? Yes, I could go somewhere else, but no. She knows my system, and she knows she doesn't get paid, so I don't have to train a new person to do it. But with that, I escape Ace Chemicals, and I know I have to do something I really don't want to do, which is awful. Jimmy breaks up with me over the loss of his daughter, but he doesn't realize she was my tech support, and then I take out my frustrations on some of the Arkham Knight's tanks and one of his bombs. I then attack his men at Grand Central Station because they believe that holding a train station is a good idea for me. Riddler then sends robots because he captured my side chick, Catwoman. I deal with them, but let it be known Catwoman will spend the rest of her life locked up with Riddler because Riddler requires too many fucking gadgets to use. I found something that my tech support had left for me under a box, a little microchip left out in the rain. Don't know why this was such a risky move, considering this chip could have been destroyed. But it's a lead, and I happen to like leads very much. Unfortunately, this one led me to infiltrating a hideout and getting shot at, and instead of reacting in time, I took a fist to the face. Normally I do the fisting, but it seems today Red Hood counts, or Arkham Knight as the developers would want you to know it as. This guy told me he was from a rival group who wanted to see my life church sent to hell, so therefore I knew I had to stop him, but not before receiving a friendly bullet to the side. But it's okay, I just interrogate his driver because he can't drive himself anymore. However, the driver didn't tell me shit even after I decided to plant a fucking Batmobile tank wheel onto his head. I somehow didn't crush him, so it doesn't count as the no-kill rule, even though I left him here. Nightwing gave me a tool that was supposed to help me on future objectives. I call this thing shit, because it makes me use it at least 3 times. And by that, I don't mean 3 times. See, I have to take down stuff, so I take a couple of guns because I figured that is the least safe thing to do. I didn't want to straight up cause them to die whenever they did it, but oh well. I also have to tag the van, which was annoying, again, bringing 4. Penguin ran away like a little coward, so I knew that was coming, but luckily midgets scare me, so I don't have to see him anymore. Whenever I thought I was about to get molested with this baseball bat, Nightwing came out, molested that guy's head with his baton, and then we prepared to fight. And by that I mean these 2 guys just didn't have anything, didn't try, so they just stood there for a minute. But after taking them down, we can do a fight. And I like this. Nightwing's fun to play against because he's just yapping with all these guys so I can be my silent movie self. Plus, having a second person here makes it that much easier for me not to use gadgets, because takedowns help with that. An instant takedown and a double team takedown will get past anything we have, which is easier and much helpful more later on. But you know what? Just enjoy a little bit more of us fighting. I'm sure it's fun for you. Back on track, we blow up the Arkham Knight's thing, which is why I'm not taking down the midget because it required explosive gel. Hopped outside and did some more side questing, like scanning a few dead bodies. Having more tank battles in the name of destroying explosives, or the greater good, whatever. Saving a few firefighters to fulfill my Two Shoes bit, and taking out some APC lieutenants. All in all, this took about an hour. I then went to a Wayne Tower area where I was supposed to retrieve a new gadget. I hate this one. The cryptographic sequencer is hell of annoying for this challenge because the game has a lot of areas that are just built around using it. So unfortunately, this gadget will be hell on earth for me and me alone because it's not like anyone else is playing this challenge, right? Not only was I blessed by a couple of fights on Stark's airship, I was also given the honor of being able to knock out thugs quietly, which really gave me the hope that one day someone's going to be able to make an indie game of us being thugs in a Batman Predator encounter. But I'll wait for that day. I then have another Joker sequence where basically I get to live out my wild fantasies of choking him out. Listen, I know I want it kinky, but this ain't it. We do have to have a choice with Scarecrow, which unfortunately there's no good or bad answer. And since I just had to pray for the fact that I could have had a chance, I know much better than that. So I just wait for Joker to talk because I need a second to contemplate my entire existence, and I'm also looking for my Red Bull. Spoiler alert, I don't have any Red Bull. So I get really upset. But things only get worse, because Scarecrow decides to flee by ripping his machine out of the helicopter. Dude, if you don't unplug something properly, my PlayStation doesn't get happy. What do you think is going to happen to your machine when you're ripping it out of the walls? But fine. Barbara dies, which is a real shame, because now I have to genuinely go out and hire someone new for my tech support. I didn't want to do that today. I wanted donuts. But I guess I can't fucking get donuts anymore. But I do have a plan. Poison Ivy. So, way earlier in the beginning of the game, she reveals that her toxin, or her body, is non-effective. Basically, she's resistant or immune to Crane's toxin. And naturally, I need to be able to use that to defend all of Gotham. So how do I do that? Well, we take a long, carefully planned, and basically fight some Cobra tanks. Yeah, I didn't see this one on the bucket list. I was actually expecting a lot more from these, but they weren't too bad. Granted, there's only 3 of them at the moment, but hey, more Batmobile stealth section, and I feel like I've been showing you guys more mostly cutscenes than anything else, so now you get to watch me fight 3 Cobra tanks. Yay. With Ivy dropped off at the Botanical Gardens, we have to get to work. Ivy tells us that here she should be able to do what she can to defend Gotham, but then later lies about this and tells us we need to get some things for her. It sounds like a standard fetch quest, and it is. It really is. But she makes up for it because whenever I find her plant and blast it out of the ground, blast it out of the ground. Sorry, I guess I had performer's anxiety there. We not only get to see this thing destroy a little bit of Gotham, but it's okay, they didn't like me anyway. I also get blessed by having some thugs decide that they really gotta destroy this plant. Which truly, I just gotta know, how fast is their response time? Because they're there fast. But the fact that Ivy did give me some goons to fight is great. By the way, I'm gonna mention this now. Those thugs with the electrified thing, the game tells you you can take them down with the Batclaw, but there is in fact another solution. You just get hit by them. It takes care of it all. Another fear takedown as I try to disable the anti-Batmobile and Batwing signal. I don't really know what to call it. But I get into a kinky choke-off with Arkham Knight, revealing that not only is he trained in the art of Spencer's, but he's really good at it. Man, he must be going to Life Church and Spencer's part-time. It's so beautiful, man. Although he does steal my ninja smoke bomb trick, which I hate because I can't do it either to show off. I then finally destroy the missile launcher by just shooting its sides and then occasionally blasting a missile with the minigun. But it's honestly a really easy fight. I just kind of sit there. It's so fun. I then send the Batmobile to start looking for it, but in the middle I get interrupted by an old fuck. Do I know where this guy came from? No, he was probably my Domino's delivery boy, but I just decided to keep him there for entertainment. Either way, he said I'm needed at the fucking movie studios. Why am I needed at the movie studios? Harley Quinn! Dealing with her goons on the rooftop initially, pretty easy, because a Fear multi-takedown deals with the guys with guns, and then the rest of them don't realize, hey, distract him, pick up the guns, and we'll win. Instead, they just get punched. I'm starting to think all these thugs just have a thing for getting punched. Then Harley Quinn sends out more, and we get this really fun but annoying setup. These three thugs all surrounded by the sentry guns. This is a three-step plan. First, take out the guys. Second, attempt to take out the sentry gun and then realize you're not fast enough. And third, retreat. Did I say a three-step plan? Sorry, I meant a multi-step plan. Then we basically have to stand here and just watch them. The sentry guns are supposed to cover each other, so you're supposed to use the remote hacking device to disable one of these sentry guns in order to do it. And I almost considered doing that, but then remembered that would fail the challenge. So I waited. I studied. I counted. And as soon as one of the sentry guns went by, I snuggly ran over to the sentry gun and destroyed it. Luckily, Batman can do it just fast enough to get away, and then run as fast as I can to avoid being detected by the sentry gun, and then taking out the second. And just like that, we're inside. I did have to use the voice synthesizer to get in there, and I got this brilliant view through a guy's knuckles while we're interrogating someone. Seriously, man, he must have some weird eating routine that lets his fingers become invisible to the naked eye. Speaking of naked, it could be fun. Not here, but just in general, you know? You know what I mean? We then capture the three different thugs, or Harley Quinn, Joker wannabes. Honestly, they're just meh, honestly. And then, of course, I make sure Robin has the ability to carry the final thug. You know, of course, I just have to make sure that I'm taking care of my wolf. Then I throw Robin into a cage because, well, I need to, get a horror memory flashback of Jason Todd, and get back to destroying some more tanks. Ivy basically pissed them all off, so now I have to be the one to save her. Why? Because I still think she's the best option to help Gotham against the Cloud of Fear toxin, because unfortunately I can't take care of it all on my own. But you'll never guess what happened in the long run. Guess. I want you to guess in the comments. Yeah, that fart cloud went off. Turns out Scarecrow had been eating a shit ton of Taco Bell combined with Chili's. So this was the natural result. And then, of course, as I saw everyone fighting, I knew that I couldn't handle this possibly. My pure body diet of purely steak and chicken and potatoes would be unable to handle this. so I needed the holy grail of all inventions in order to save Gotham. Naturally, I had to interrogate Simon Stagg on where this holy grail would be located, and he decided to take forever to tell me what the fuck is going on, because I guess he assumed that Crane would somehow spare him from all this madness. I don't get it either, but we're here. I then have to run out and discover a small problem. There's a drone guarding this exit. Normally you'd have to use the remote hacking device, but I decided to be a smart man and run to the other side of the ship. I'm a genius. Fuck! Well, that was a complete waste of time. I then insert my thingy into the Batmobile. Jokes. With that, the Batmobile should be able to take it, but my hallucinations grow ever more worse, which makes me really dangerous. More dangerous? Either way. Then I get attacked with a bunch of drones in a garden because Ivy had another plant come out. You know, I'm starting to think she secretly wants to take over this entire area. Huh. Just something to think about. The Arkham Knight's tank is tough, and here's how I know. I just got hit with a regular blast of the Poper drones, and look how much fucking damage that did to me. The Arkham Knight's thing, basically you have to run out that clock above with the overcharge, and it wasn't fun. Like at all. Basically, you have to be half speed, half stealth, and I don't know how on earth a tank is able to do this to the Batmobile, considering how fast the Batmobile is, but I'm starting to think Lucius doesn't know what he's doing whenever it comes to car design. I knew I should have called the guy who owns the Miata with the V12 engine. Man, I want a Miata with a V12 engine. Imagine how much fun that would be, the more I think about it. Then I just start spamming everything I can in the Cloudburst as soon as I get it defeated. He starts sending missiles at me, but it isn't enough. Ivy has fallen. Boys, we lost a real one. Everyone knew her design in Arkham Asylum and knew she'd only get hotter. I'm sorry, I can't take this. Just kidding. With Ivy dead, that's one less person who's going to ruin my Saturday night, so naturally we start moving on to the more fun stuff. Like, where the hell has Jimmy been? Spoiler alert, he's been infiltrating the militia. I don't know how, but he's just a guy with a revolver, but I guess he's got main character syndrome. And we are forced to take another gadget. Ugh, this is gonna be annoying. Annoying it was, because there are multiple sections where the game just forces you to basically take and use gadgets. I don't like this, but I get rewarded with another Arkham Knight fight. This time he's got a really big fucking drone for some reason. Yeah, I don't really know what to call this one here. And it's just really him running around 3 different tunnels in order to beat him. But he destroys my Batmobile. I'm sorry, he what? He destroys my Batmobile? What the fuck, man? I needed that. Lucius said it was one of a kind. Anyway, I rescue my boy Jimmy and then get thrown into another fight. Now, ironically enough, I tried to do this challenge on the PlayStation, but whenever I got to this fight, the game wouldn't let me record it. I don't know how, and I don't like it, so we're here now. It's revealed that Jimmy, Jason Todd, is now him. Yes, I named him after Jimmy, because I love Jimmy and I wanted to love Jason. Jason, however, preferred McDonald's, so I had to disown him. The fight begins pretty simply with us headbutting him and pulling a disappearing act. Don't know how he didn't see that coming, but the fight goes pretty easily as you just sneak up on him 3 separate times by hiding in grates, sneaking up on him, all of that other fun stuff. Really easy. But then the problem becomes his last section, where he basically sets up an area with 2 rotating sentry guns and a drone covering him. This was pain. I basically snuck up to this position and waited. You're watching this at insanely sped up speed right now just because it's a pain in the ass to get through this fight, but this section can actually be completed without using any gadgets. You just have to wait for the opportune timing, and then bam, just like that, nice and easy. We give him a good old bitch slap or 2, rip off his armor in an attempt to just really fight him. But the sentry guns are gone whenever we land, despite the Lego pattern on the floor. I offer my hand to him to tell him that, my son, we can truly have good food. We don't have to go to McDonald's. But he's like, you have McDonald's money, you bitch. I know you do. So I report to Alfred that my son is once again lost to us. He will be lost, but never forgotten. Then Jimmy gets punched in the face by some thugs whenever they show up to attack me, and then we get the worst guy. That brute with the fucking gloves. I don't like him, because I can't attack him head on, and I don't remember the other solution, but I have a plan. See, little combo takedown actually works really well against this guy. Just hit him with it twice, and then he's down. Problem solved. No gadget usage on him. By the way, I'm sorry about the gadget counter keep disappearing, but I'm too lazy to go back and fix this. That was a note from me in the past. Jimmy shoots me to really cement our breakup, which made me sad, and then he got captured. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, this was all part of the plan, as now me and his daughter are ready to be saved. I mean, first she gets thrown off the roof, but it's okay, because I'm there to save her, because that bullet somehow does no damage to me whatsoever. In fact, it makes me happier, because now I'm under fire and given a new Batmobile. It's not painted black, so I don't really know how to feel about it. It's also not rainbow colors, which is another problem. But you know what? It works, and that's all that I care about at this point in the game. Plus, it comes with a host of other upgrades that really don't make any difference to me. Whether or not I have the EMP, drone virus, whatever, or the overcharge thing, they don't matter because I can't use them anyway. So, you know what? Here's some more Batmobile combat because the game decided we needed a lot of it. And I do mean a lot of it. Oracle gets set back up at GCPD, and somehow a Band-Aid is what helps her the most, but then we discover that the clock tower is really out of date. Really out of date in the sense that these guys are destroying the servers. We kinda need those, so I break in there and then I start tearing it apart. And luckily for me, fear takedowns are beautiful at taking down scared thugs. However, I just have to wait behind the counter for one of them to get closer, and then get shot up by a minigun. The minigun guy, I paid it back by just beating him up last. I wanted him to feel the fear. He didn't feel the fear, but he did feel the pain of all these bruises and concussions I am definitely giving him, because why the fuck not would I give someone that? And then we get under attack by actually not by GCPD, at GCPD. Holy cow, this script is horrible. And what do we get attacked by? An army. An army of tanks. I smell more Batmobile combat incoming. But it's amazing that these guys don't bring down the GCPD in like 2 seconds. And I do have to have some fight with some guys in the underground garage, but luckily for me, it's not too bad. Except I do get hit in the face because I'm an idiot, and I can't be imagined or asked to perfect any bit of combat. Luckily for me, I just have to power up the generator 3 times, which is really, really annoying. And then I get out in the Batmobile. Barbara hacks a couple of drones, which do help out, and I'm not counting these as gadget uses because they're going to be there whether I want them to be or not, so might as well take advantage to make my life just that little bit easier. All in all, this one was actually kind of fun just because it spiced it up with Barbara taking over new stuff, and it was really good to have my tech support back. I did have a moment where I decided to let the militia in to imagine what would happen. Didn't do well. I don't care about everyone else, but my tech support I kind of need in case my iPad dies. Hey, I'm a rich kid. Don't judge me, okay? Then I go back and fight the guys on the rooftop. Luckily for me, the blade takedown is actually really nice. These guys do switch it up every now and then, and all I had to really do was just make sure I had enough health to survive any thugs getting electrocharged, because they're still the most annoying thugs in the entire game. And why? Because I actually looked it up online on forums to see if anyone could help me. There is no way other than the bat claw and getting hit to get them out of their condition. So you basically have to get hit, which is however many times they do that. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm just really trying to talk so I can show you guys more of me kicking their ass. But you know what? I'm just gonna shut up for a couple minutes.
Go on, man! Hit me! I dare you! Not so tough now,
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I know I said a couple of minutes, but really I don't have time for that. Scarecrow decides that we need to have a man-on-man fight, which, kinda sounded a little sus to me because he wanted me to surrender my belt. But then I realized this was a great idea, because if I take my belt off of me, I don't have any gadgets to use. No gadget uses should theoretically mean I don't have to worry about it, right? Right? I don't know, I don't trust this at all whatsoever. He should have just given me a meeting place, but here we are. There's nothing in the truck to entertain me, so naturally I find entertainment in just beating the shit out of a bunch of jokers. I do unfortunately suck at the combat once again, so yeah, I get hit quite a few times, but it's still okay. It ends with everyone figuring out who I am. and then I hallucinate more as Joker and am forced to use the missiles one time. We're counting this just because I feel like being a menace to myself. I then pull up the longest beatdown on Joker to try and basically put him into the back of my mind. It was nice, it was easy. I'm now free of the Joker's disease that was infecting me, all because of a mental cure. Chef's kiss. With that, we finally get to bring Scarecrow to justice, or at least the justice of him being terrified in a cell. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we beat Arkham Knight without using gadgets. Actually, that is unfortunately a lie. We did have to use 78 total gadgets throughout this entire run, which did make me sad, but it's okay. The most valuable gadgets of 0 uses were a combined 3 of the Smoke Pellet, Bat Claw, and the Freeze Blast. I loved these gadgets so much because I didn't have to use them. The worst gadget, with the remote hacking device, with a grand total of 24 fucking uses. Almost a third of the uses on this entire run. Why? Okay, with that, we're just gonna leave here so I can go back and cry. Have a great day. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Bye.